Well, I kind of want to get into a different sort of video. This is not something that I typically make on this channel. So it's going to be raw. This video is going to be raw. It's going to kind of get into, I'm just kind of going to articulate what it is, as you can see from the title, what exponential growth is, how you can apply it to your info product and really just anything in life. Exponential growth is one of those things that can be applied to literally anything in life. If you want to get better at running, if you want to get better at coding, if you want to get better at your business, it can be applied to pretty much anything. First thing, what is exponential growth? Well, it is just consistency tied to tracking, variables, knowing what you're doing, pattern recognizing, stuff like that. So when you go into a skill, you obviously have to do it. Consistency, consistency, consistency. That's how you get good at stuff. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. You know, that's how you start growing in a field, is by doing more of it. And that's what consistency is. So that tied with what I just said, variables and testing and tracking and iteration, that is what causes exponential growth. So for just one of a personal experience, one of our old clients, just to kind of, make this a lot easier to understand, we worked with him about 1.5 years ago, close to that. And he just never grew. He was someone who just never grew. We couldn't get really anything to stick with him. We were also not as good as we were now. This was like in the beginning of, me getting into marketing and info products. So obviously, it just wasn't a good combination. So I checked back at his channel about 2 weeks ago, something like that, was just on X, saw his tweet, whatever. Anyways, the point I'm getting to, he's in the exact same spot that he was 1.5 years ago. And from just knowing him, he was someone that didn't want to change anything. You had to really push to change. We tried to get him to do face cam stuff and change up his content, and it was such a hard push to always do stuff. Looking back now, it makes sense why he's still in the same spot 1.5 years later. Because that's what I'm going to transition into this iteration part of it. You can have consistency like this guy. You can have consistency for years and years and years. But if you're not changing, you're not trying to get better, you're not actively iterating off of what you are doing, then you do not get exponential growth. You just get growth. All you do is, you kind of get subjected to this box. You kind of know everything that's inside the box, but outside of it, you don't know yet, because you're limiting your own self by not iterating and not trying to do better and learn more and overall just master a skill. So that, like I said, iteration, knowing what you're doing, knowing what you're not doing, just being aware of what works and what doesn't work. If you have, let's say with your info product, you do 10 websites and you get data from all of those websites and you track them and you put in the reps, you're going to get patterns that you see work across all of those websites. Now you have iteration to go put towards other websites. You see where I'm getting at? This is why I'm so keen on data tracking now and analytics and analysis, is because of this one thing. Exponential growth does not happen without iteration. You can only iterate off of your own data and what you see other people doing. So why not iterate off your own data? You get what I mean? But that's kind of the whole thing. Exponential growth is something that is attained just through consistency, but without iteration, you don't achieve it. It's kind of that weird thing, because everyone tells you to go, be consistent, work towards this job for 10 years. But if you're stuck in the same position for 10 years, not doing anything, then you're never going to grow out of it. You see what I mean? So it's like, bro, you kind of have to do more. You have to work hard, essentially. You have to see what works and what doesn't work within your skill, within your line of work, with whatever it is you're doing, and get better off of that. Get better off of observations, get better off of tracking, get better off of, intuition, whatever it is. But like I said, this is a much different sort of video. This is something more centered towards just a way to think about your business and a way to think about anything in life. If you want more videos like this, then I'd be happy to make them. I've posted a lot of shit like this early on in this channel. So, I have a lot to talk about. But that's really it. I want to end this video off here. Something different. If you liked it, comment, do whatever the hell. And yeah, peace.